Hi guys, Grace Woj once again. I'm here relaxing at the farm after having a sumptuous meal at the farm. Are you new to our channel? Please consider subscribing. Today, we are not going to have a topic in particular to tackle or to talk on. We are simply going to answer some of those questions our followers are always leaving for us in the comment section. So you are out there, have never left us a question or a feedback or a comment. This is the time for you. So today we are going to have a question and answer, and every month we shall ensure that we have at least one session of Q&A to answer some of those questions. Sometimes we may have a loaded video for them, but in other incidences we may have not loaded videos for them, and you really need this information. Number one, the question was asked by Edison Kananura. He asked, where is the butcher or where is the market for sheep in Uganda? Okay, I always tell people in Uganda, I've not seen a butcher for sheep. Basically, what I want to tell you, the market for sheep in Uganda is hidden like our inner beauty as women. Like how a man says, hey, that woman is ugly, but she has that inner beauty. It is not easily seen, but the holder is one who sees it. You get my point? So the market for sheep is hidden like inner beauty for most individuals. Why is it hidden? In Uganda here, some of us who were born in the 80s and 70s, we grew up not eating sheep meat. It was unheard of. I don't know, they have those funny beliefs that when you eat sheep meat, you are this and this, blah, 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 blah. There is lots and lots of notions about eating. So most of us grew up, including me here, I had never eaten mutton. But till when I flew to South Africa, and mutton is the biggest meat consumed in South Africa, and I end up eating mutton. Why is there sudden demand for sheep farming in Uganda? Or why is there a sudden demand for sheep in Uganda? One, some of us, when we started farming goats, there used not to be market for sheep. But right now, most of us farmers, we are having lots and lots of mortalities on our farms of the goats. So the number of goats we are churning out to the market is becoming fewer, and it is quite expensive. So right now it is easier to grow sheep than to keep goats. So most people are diverting into sheep farming because right now the prices of sheep and the prices of goats, they are the same. So what farmers are doing now, and the butcher guys and the brokers, they are mixing the mutton plus the goat's meat. So you buy half of goat's meat and buy half of mutton, but unknowingly, because they know most of us in Uganda, we don't like eating mutton, but it has no harm. It is the most tastiest meat. I know of a doctor in Masha who started goat farming at the same time sheep farming. Right now, he's reducing on the number of goats because of what is involved in producing a goat than what is involved in producing a sheep. Okay? Hope you get my point, guys. My next question was, Lala, what is the purpose of tagging goats? We tag goats, we don't tag them out of pleasure that they should have earrings, but we tag them for purpose. We tag them for identification purposes, to be able to identify them. For example, most of my goats have GB, which implies Grace Woji, and at the back of the tag there is a number. Let's say there is 01. It means that is my number one goat. But in countries where they are taking goat farming to an extensive approach, or they are doing it extensively, their tagging resonates with the number of births that goat has given birth to. Basically, if you find a goat has given birth to 2 babies, you find on its baby it has produced. For example, if it was tag number 1, the mother that produced the other baby, the other tag for the baby has tag GB at the front, and then at the end it has GB1. And then on the other baby, if they produce 2 babies, it has GB02, which implies those 2 goats are born from one mother. Basically, it is for identification purposes, and also to a less extent to lessen on theft of our goats, much as thieves of late, they have gotten cunning, they cut off those tags, but previously they never used to cut off. But you can easily identify your goat, that if it hides in another person's herd, you can easily tell that my goat is GB and I'm seeing GB, that is my goat, for identification purposes and also to enable you to record keeping. It's not necessarily that we're trying to keep earrings on the goats, on the ears of the goats, okay? Our next question is, can you export goats to West Africa? Can you export goats to Kenya? Right now, honestly speaking, I do not have the capacity to export goats to West Africa. I do not have. Reason being, the demand for goats here in Uganda is really overwhelming me. And there is no way I can export to go through the nitty-gritty of looking for permit, looking for a cargo plane, doing several tests, all that. Yet I can sell the same amount Ugandans here. So at the moment, I usually get so many people asking me, can you export goats to West Africa? No. But the best I can do, if you organize yourselves as West Africans, I can always come and give a detailed training, maybe for a few days. You can always invite me. I can always give you a detailed training and also guide you and maybe help you to import goats from South Africa. Okay? And for the farmers in Kenya, it is near. Kenya is just near here us, but I've only been able to sell to a few Kenyans. Why? I always speak the truth. This is what I face. Every time I try to take my animals to Kenya, Kenyans, I don't know you guys how you do it, but you ask for a lot of kickbacks on your border points, checkpoints. I'm not going to lie about this. You ask for a lot of kickbacks. That's why some of us, we do away with importing, taking goats to Kenya. Actually, I'm safer bringing the goats up to Busia, and then you tussle it out with your guys at the checkpoint. So at the moment, unless I deliver up to Busia, but taking it through the border point, even if you have all the paperwork, no, that's not my piece of cake. That's why I'm so reluctant, and sometimes I end up not picking your calls because I don't want to go through that headache of the kickbacks on the roads to Kenya, the kickbacks at the border checkpoints. No, it's not something I would want to venture into. So at the moment, Kenya, I go slow. To Tanzania, I always take in the goats at any one given point. Just contact me if you need goats to Tanzania. I'm always welcome. You're always welcome. The other question, should a permanent farm employee be allowed to do casual jobs on a farm? Yes and no. Yes and no. It depends on what you're agreeing on as farmers. So this is what I do for my farm. I have several projects on the farm, but these projects depend that in certain periods of the year, there are times when we have no work in certain projects. For example, like matoke, I do matoke farming. After they have cut off the dry leaves and everything, because we do the mulching, there is not much work needed. So you find yourself, the people working in matoke, they are literally doing nothing apart from irrigating the coffee. You find them free. So when I'm bringing you on the farm, I tell you, if I'm bringing you on the farm, you are going to do A, B, C, D. But in instances where I find myself, you have no work where I assigned you to do, I will assign you to do some other responsibilities. 2, there are incidences where, for example, I have several herds, and these herds are manned by around 10 boys. But from morning up to like 10 a.m., if they are not sweeping the goat pens, these guys are literally idle. They are doing nothing. So what I usually do, because for them they never get breaks, even on Sunday the goats have to eat, even on Saturday they have to eat. So from morning up to 10 a.m. when they are literally doing nothing, on those days when we are not spraying, on those days when we are not sweeping the goat pen, on those days when we are not doing routine treatment, I can refer them and take them somewhere else. And usually when I take them somewhere to do that casual work, for example, like time for planting coffee, I used some of my boys from the goat project. I usually pay them per hour worked. Are we getting it, guys? So also agree at the beginning to avoid miscommunication with these guys. Carlos from Zambia. What other foodstuffs can I give my goats apart from maize bran? Okay. Okay, Carlos from Zambia. The question is very simple. When you look at the goat, from the little biology we studied as young children, a goat is a ruminant. It needs grasses. A goat needs natural feeds at any one given point. Maize is good, but given in proportion is not, it cannot be a full complete meal for your goats. You need something else for it to chew on, or maybe grass, or maybe greens like leaves. You get it. So what you have to do in this kind of thing, you have to look at carbohydrates and proteins in your goat's menu. So if you are giving it maize alone, it means you're only giving it carbohydrates, and carbohydrates will not be able to give you a healthy goat. So you need to incorporate protein sources. What are some of those protein sources you can incorporate? You can grow things like coriander, you can grow lucerne, you can grow moringa. Here we have bitter leaf, we call it mululuza. All these things you can also grow. In Kenya, when I went to Kenya recently, I found there are sweet potato vines. They grow and they mature very fast, I think in less than 30 days. And then you can harvest them, dry them, wilt them a little bit, and then serve them together with your maize bran. Hope my question is clear. But also remember, goats need certain minerals which you can only get through buying supplements from the shops in your area in Zambia. Bakashaba said, how do I handle liver flukes? First things first, if where you are farming you have a swamp, you need to limit or reduce the level at which your goats go to graze in that swamp, because most of the liver flukes are got from there. These goats, like in the swamps, those young grasses that are growing, when a goat chews on it, most of it is sweet. They like the sweet things just like human beings. So in that sweet thing, that's where you find the eggs of the liver flukes. And your goat, because it's looking for the sweet element of the grass, it will eat directly the flukes. So what you can do here, you can use a number of drugs that have levamisole, but please, I'm not a vet doctor. Consult a veterinary official. They will guide you, and if it is having a high worm burden of liver flukes, you will need a combination of various drugs, various dewormers, for you to be able to combat liver flukes on your farm. Some of the things I've used, for me, I don't have liver flukes actually, and also you may not necessarily be having liver flukes on your farm. How do you know you have liver flukes? Did you see them in their dung? Sometimes we have worms like tapeworms, roundworms, etc. So no, because usually liver flukes are so common in areas where there are swampy areas, in areas where people make their goats drink from rivers, especially a river that is not flowing, chances of you having liver flukes are very high. This is our part 1 of question and answer, Q&A. This is our part 1. There is part B, where we are going to answer most of your questions. Keep the questions coming. We want you to benefit out of goat farming as Africans. This is something that is going to take us out of our poverty cycles. Please ask the questions. We shall always give you a feedback.